welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Diller. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
Well, I've been better, but you know what? The show must go on.
The show is definitely going to go on. We got a great show tonight. It is in-service time. We're going to play a little educator for you and give out report cards. We're going to lay out an improvement plan or two maybe, and, of course, talk all the fun from yesterday's slate of college football. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of Greenville Sports Media's podcasting network. If you're a true sports fan, Greenville Sports Media is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts, the latest articles, and other sports media at greenvillesportsmedia.com. We can also be found on all forms of social media, just like Fun Fans. Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
Yep, and the official favorite place to eat for sports fans is Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering. Definitely the best wings around, with two locations in the upstate of the great state of South Carolina, in Greer at 1083 Batesville Road and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. Their website, which we talked about last week, is ReubensC.com, and I was told that means Reubens SC, so it combined the S on Reubens in South Carolina. So ReubenSC.com.
Yeah, Reuben. Whatever. Just go find it. You'll
right.
Get there. You'll get there. Speaking of, so we always talk about what we did. It was an away game, so there was no tailgate in Clemson for the Fun Fans. And but what I did to watch the game, and we'll talk about watching some other games, ended up at Reuben's, but missed the beginning of the game due to a funeral. I want to throw out some condolences to our friend Mike Morrow and his family for the loss of his mom, but went from that funeral to Reuben's, which was nearby, with about 4 or 5 of our friends that went to Clemson with, and it's just kind of worked out that it was nearby and landed at a great place like Reuben's to watch the game with friends. We got there about halfway through the first quarter, and we left at the end of the third quarter. So, that was a good time. And then came back and watched the rest of the game here with my family. Bailey, you talked about going to the pool. Was there any pool time?
Yeah, we were outside, poolside, watching it on the TV, and my son was home for the weekend, and so we watched it out there. And you know what? It is what it is.
Was the water? Did you get in the water?
I did, and it was very, very cool.
Very refreshing.
Very cool. Yes.
It was a chill dip. Okay, so that was how we watched the game. So just real quick, we're going to give our grades. So we're going to grade 3 things. We're going to grade Clemson football. We're 3 games into a 12-game season, right? So that's a fourth of the way through the season. So it's a quarter. It's like the first grading period, right? So it's the quarter. So we're going to grade Clemson football. We're going to grade our tailgating, and we're going to give college football as a whole a quick grade. And, people didn't see the quote still, but the thing about Murphy, and, Dabo was like, we're going to attack Murphy. The heck with Murphy. But apparently Murphy was back. I don't know. Just kidding. But my grade, no joke, overall for Clemson football, and I hate it, it's got to be an F. If you're 1 and 2, I'm a numbers guy. You take that as a percentage, but you maybe give them some credit for some of the good play they've had. But really there hadn't been enough to get above an F on the grade. There's only, fairly well here and there against LSU, a half of good play against Troy, and I don't know which quarter was there, a series here and there that was good against Georgia Tech, but just too much inconsistency. It's not that we're don't have talent and can't do this and can't do that. It's just, one play we're making a great throw and making a great catch, and the next drive we need a first down, and we drop a ball that hits us right in the hand. So it's just
I mean, I think well, you go ahead. I'll do my grade here in a second.
No, I was just going to say things like when, quarterback's tripping over his own feet and that kind of stuff. It's hard to make up for. It's hard to pull up a 0 with hundreds, right? Bailey, you still end up with a 50.
Yeah, it takes a while.
All right, so go ahead. What you got?
I would say I'm not as critical a grader as you are. I'm going to say D. D is for done. So bottom line is they've lost 2 games to two top one of the top 5 teams in the country and one of the top 15 or 16 teams in the country. All right, Georgia Tech has a history of beating ranked teams at home. And if you remember about 5 shows ago or when the schedule came out, I said, this is a tough one.
That's the one.
I love the way Georgia Tech plays. I love their quarterback. Their coach does an outstanding job. And I mean, but at the same time, get the ball in the second half, drive it right down the field, and throw a pick, basically on the goal line.
Right.
And I think that's when you got to be able to rush the ball. And I think the outside runs were better than the inside runs. But I'm going with a D. I don't think the defensive line has shown up quite like I thought they should.
No.
The linebackers did make some plays, but then the secondary is a little suspect sometimes. But then again, if you're playing man coverage and you're rushing 6 or 7, you got to get to the quarterback, or those guys, the receivers know where they're going. The defensive backs don't know where they're going.
Correct.
I think that's the hardest position to play in football, is because you're trying to, especially if your coach puts you in a man-to-man situation. It's hard to do.
It's very difficult. And we are getting definitely not living up to, not even the national big time potential national championship hype, but the team to beat in ACC was definitely, my expectations, and too many plays where they're not living up. And once again, still have the potential. It's not that the players are.
No, Clemson. Well, this is like a broken record. Okay.
Yep.
Could we run the table? Absolutely.
Yes.
But as I told you before we popped on live here, we probably need to just take it 1 week at a time.
1 week at a time.
Like, let's just focus on the next week.
Yep.
And,
all right. So we have a D and an F from the fun fans for the team so far. But this only the first 9 weeks. So,
right.
There's 3/4 of the full grading period yet to go. All right. So we're also going to grade our tailgating. I'm going to give our tailgating a B. And now, even though we've done this show now, I think this is our 4th year, and I'm not going to say that we just claim to be professional. We are professional tailgaters, but we got a B because of the Porta John location on week 1. We that was just bad, but we made a big time comeback last week with the spot we found and making do with the parking that we landed, and then to also being a away game, Bailey by the pool and me at Rubens to watch an away game. I mean, that's definitely extra credit, A+ stuff. So
yeah,
that brings up the Porta John, but we landed to tailgating so far at a B in my opinion. What do you got, Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. It's a challenge because we're, last year we were worried about our spot, and it turned out to be a great spot.
Yes.
It turned out to be the greatest spot ever.
Yep.
This year we're worried about our spot because we really haven't used our spot. But now I think we found a spot.
Yes.
To make it happen.
Hey, real quick, this isn't in the script, but I text Bailey, speaking of the spot, so everybody needs to know. IPTAY called, like they do, I'm sure, every donor. But I'm that person, I happen to have a little bit of time when they happen to call. So when the nice young, probably college age intern was saying, we just want to thank you for your donation and ask if you have any questions or concerns. I said, well, since you asked, and I let them know, and real quick, what we were talking about at the tailgate, that there's got to be some kind of way where people can check a box. And, if you donate money, you're going to get a better spot, of course, but check a box if you're just that person that's never going to tailgate. I need some space. So I need a good spot, or maybe, somewhere that's not the best, it's one of the good lots, but I need a space in that lot that's for tailgating. And because there's plenty of people that just park and go to some other tailgate
right.
or go somewhere else. So I let that, especially when they build the parking deck. Some people might want to tailgate in that parking deck. I don't know, but I don't think that's going to be a very great place for tailgating. I would guess so. Just throw that out there.
Great place to park.
They have been, yes, they have been they have been notified. So all right, what about college football as a whole? Our third category here, Bailey, from a fan standpoint, not like how the teams are doing, but How's it been as a fan so far 3 weeks in your opinion?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of times my interest fades as the Tigers fade.
Understood.
I I honestly, we went to eat last night before Carolina's game, and then I took me a little power nap when we got home. And guess what? Missed most of the Carolina shellacking. Uh, but that was my lock of the week on Monday. Vanderbilt plus 5.5. That was my
Mm-hmm.
lock. Um, but it is what it is. I mean, I like watching football. I mean, I when I woke up last night, I was watching California play.
Right.
Um, one of those games we talk about you can never stay up for, where you can if you take a nap first.
Hey, and speaking of, who was it? Oregon and Northwestern, I believe, had a 9 a.m. local kickoff.
Right. But
Crazy.
see, I had been the night before we had a football game, and then we had a cross country meet at school Saturday morning with 1,000 runners that we sold over 1,100 tickets to. So I was back at school, home by like midnight, back at school at like 6 till about 11, and so I was dead.
Counting money from
I
across.
did watch some of the beginning of the Tennessee and Georgia game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, I mean it's just we think we've got a big stadium, and Clemson does, but
That's a big
not
one.
that big.
I need to go back and double check, but I saw, speaking of that game, I think there's some folks that they call them the volunteer Navy or the Vol Navy. Have you heard about these guys?
Yeah, they
And
park their
because
boats right there by the stadium.
well, I don't even think they go in. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they're just they go to the game by boat,
Right.
and it's right there, so that's pretty cool.
It's really
I'm going
cool.
to give
I've been by there. It's
oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. When there was no game, it was
Right,
some
right.
summertime. Yeah, there was literally no traffic at all. And that when there's a river right by your stadium, you can imagine if you take any stadium and like cut off one side of it for travel until you get to a bridge. So yeah, I'm sure traffic's a mess.
Can you imagine if like Lake Hartwell went right up to Death
Yeah.
Valley?
Yeah, right where
How many
Lot 6
boats?
is.
That would be a lot of parking.
Yeah,
A lot
that'd
of
be
boat
crazy.
parking.
So I'm going to give the college football season an A-, and here's why. Of course, because I love college football, putting, Clemson's losses aside, just kind of looking at it in general. Week 1 was great. Big time kickoff season, matchups and games, and they cross conferences and they put teams together to get the season started. Week 0 helps, it's kind of like, hey, here's college football's coming. But then it's an A- because of week 2, when it's almost every big school plays a little school, and that's just not saying they weren't good games, but it don't give you that same vibe. You don't really look forward to it, and most of the games are not good games. So it's like kind of almost got a week off. But yesterday was definitely a day for some good football. I like the Tennessee game Georgia game was very good. Those are two. Once we talk about Clemson, LSU were two great teams. Those were two good teams going at it, and both of those teams could get receivers open and move the ball down the field. They put some points on the board against each other, so that was a good fun game to watch. And then getting into the nightcap, this was my setup. So when the Carolina, and my wife she's a Gamecock, so this was me. I had the multi-screen going, right? So I had 4 games going on the TV, but she's like, can we watch the Carolina game on, so I can see it? So I had to set up a couple of computers here with almost reached my screen limit.
I tell you, YouTube TV is going to say this one's not connecting.
Yeah. So just to try to, and I had to start keeping up with the Miami, South Florida game, just the score on my phone. But by this point, they had pretty much taken control. So that was pretty good, which honestly, I didn't get a nap. So I started dozing off and on and woke up and watched a little bit of that. So, Notre Dame A&M was very good.
Mm-hmm.
That was back and forth. And, yeah, so I'm giving it an A- overall. Yesterday was a really good day for college football in general. Speaking of being a really good day for college football, did you watch College Game Day by chance? No, you were at a cross country meet.
I was working.
So just going to mention this story, but I'm going to tell you the story. You got to go find it. Go to YouTube or Instagram and find the video from ESPN's College Game Day. Kind of hit home for me, of course. There was a story about an educator, not because he's bald, right? But how he's got a good looking haircut there. And so does his wife. But this is John and Sarah Holman. They're West Virginia fans and like big time college. Long story short, but you need to go watch the video. They're college football fans, and he's a 6th grade special ed teacher. So shout out to educator, especially a special ed teacher. So he deserves a double his pay, just like all the rest of them. But he'd always wanted to do his room up, really decorated up like College Game Day. Big college fan. He said that's their routine, him and his wife, for all these years, to just sit and watch College Game Day and then watch college football. But he just never did. Well, April, his wife, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and being the caregiver, I know you got to be able to do something to take your mind off of that stuff every once in a while. So he finally did his room. Goes look at the pictures. I mean, it is wild how he decorated his room like College Game Day. And of course, that went viral. That got out. They brought him on to the show, and experience of their life, I'm sure. And the College Football Playoff Committee organization or foundation is giving them a trip to the national championship too. So, and Sarah has one chemo left, and she'll be done, is my understanding. So that was a really cool story. If you didn't hear about that, go check it out. All right. So enough about that. Speaking of, back to a little bit of football. We were talking about this before we got on air too. The contenders left in the ACC. A lot of good teams. We think, but I've got Miami, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and Clemson. SMU still good. Never know. People are giving California some props. Bailey, you got anybody else that should be added to?
I added Louisville to the
Louisville.
list.
You can't. You don't ever know. They're the team. They're going to drop a game or two, but they might win all the rest of their games. Who knows?
And pull an upset. They certainly are going to have a chance to upset Clemson, if that would even be an upset on a Friday night. At I guess it's still Papa John's Stadium on the campus of Louisville.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tough. There's Miami's 4, Florida State 7, Georgia Tech's like 15 or 16. Yep. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of good teams in the ACC.
A lot of good teams. So this is the scenario, fans. Keep your expectations, at a real reasonable. It's all about fun. Okay. You're hanging out with your friends. You're watching the game. You want your team to win. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's just a game, and there are still expectations there. But if your expectations were way up here for Clemson, it can make it a whole lot easier if you're just like, you know what? Maybe they make it to the ACC championship now. Maybe they don't. But we were looking at Georgia Tech's upcoming schedule, and of these contenders that we just talked about, I don't think any of them are on their schedule.
No, Dick Vitale would say Cupcake City. Cupcake City.
Virginia Tech.
They got a great draw.
How in the world? Yeah. So our obviously Clemson would need to win out. If that happens, they have a chance. If there's some other ties, it would, 3 or 4 way tie for first. But the chances of Georgia Tech getting, a loss or two.
Something crazy happens and we end up playing them again.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So outside the ACC, this was very interesting. Speaking of wins and losses. And making it to, so the thing about the ACC, whoever wins it, they're guaranteed a spot. You make it to the championship game, you win that game, you're going to get in the playoffs.
Right.
Notre Dame is now 0-2.
They're out. They're done.
They have no more ranked teams on their schedule. I mean, yeah, they probably lost a shot at the playoffs.
They should have, but what will happen? They will creep right back up there in the conversation.
Well, they're still in the AP poll. They're like 18
it's a national brand.
Yeah. So bless their hearts. But do you think, I'm going to ask, I think I know the answer. Is this scenario going to make them think maybe they need to join a conference?
Maybe, or maybe they just schedule a couple cupcakes to start the year, not big boys.
Texas A&M and Florida State. All right, let's one more conference. SEC. LSU is a contender, and that still helps us out. I think Texas is not. I'm sorry.
Right.
They're not playing. I think they're kind of doing like Clemson. They're not living up to they're a good team that's not living up to expectations.
I think Georgia's still Georgia, Tennessee's still Tennessee. You got Texas A&M, and how about Vanderbilt? Wouldn't that be a story?
That would be something. And the way so we did away with divisions, which I think was good, but I think this is why conferences are adding that 9th game, because you win one big game, it depends on how your schedule's set up. It might be, like you saying, Cupcake City to make it to your conference championship game.
Right.
You still could end up without the best 2 teams in the conference championship game. And that's so that's seeing the talk or hearing the talk about them adding a 9th game. It's 9, right? Currently 8 conference games, and they're going to add a 9th.
Yep.
Am I saying it? Okay? Yeah. So that kind of makes sense. All right, just a little more. We talked about it a little bit, but our friends in Columbia, we talked about how Virginia Tech was the common opponent, and Virginia Tech, doggone, if they didn't get hammered by
they're not good.
Old Dominion, they're 0-3 and struggling.
They're not good.
So that was not a good measuring stick for beating them in Atlanta, obviously. And
I'll tell you who else is not good. UCLA.
All right, fill me in on the UCLA stuff.
All right, so Deshaun Foster was the coach. He went to school there, big-time running back.
Okay.
He's been, after 15 games as a head coach, he was relieved of his duties.
Today, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've lost 3 games this year. 2 Mountain West opponents have beaten them. And I think the scores, like, they've scored 30-something points, and the opponents have scored 100-plus points.
Wow.
Okay, and if you remember, that's where the quarterback from Tennessee went.
For big money, right?
Yep. And now there is a transfer window, 30-day transfer window for all UCLA players.
Because they fired the coach?
Correct.
Holy cow, what do they do if everybody leaves?
I don't know.
Because they're contracted to play these games, I'm sure.
Correct.
They have to play.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think Deshaun's going to be okay. His buyout was $62 million or something.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
Bless.
Something ridiculous. Or $6.2 million. I'd have to go back and read it, but I wasn't super interested in it.
It ends in $1 million.
Yeah. It's got an M. Hold up, I'll look it up real quick.
It's got a 6 in it. Well, while you look it up, I was asking because it kept coming up with the Tennessee College game day being at Tennessee, and I knew the quarterback had gone there, but I didn't know if there was some more to the story. And they kept showing the picture of their empty stadium on a Friday night. Well, it's just because they've been doing so poorly. It wasn't so okay. They're not even putting a really, really bad product on the field. So there's that. Plus Southern California, I mean, football, if you're not, it's probably pretty tough college football in Southern California.
Unless you getting beat 35-10 by New Mexico will get you fired.
Yeah, that's not good.
They owe him over $5 million.
Okay. How long do they have to pay it?
I don't know. Does it matter?
No.
I mean, they could have, if they want to pay me that over the next 15 years, I'm good.
You'll take it.
Yep.
Well, it makes a difference. I've heard somebody say that the person with it would be easier for Alabama to buy out their coach at $60 million than Kentucky buying out their coach at like $30 million, because the way it's structured, Kentucky, if he gets fired, they get like 30 or 60 days to pay him all $30 million.
Right.
But in Alabama, they have like 15 years to spread it out, which is still, like you say, I mean, be set for life. But
that's what I like to call a retirement plan.
Yeah, retirement plan. And real quick, just so Michigan, am I correct? I know the head coach is sitting out. Is he sitting out because of what they did, like when Harbaugh was the coach?
Yeah, he was. Well, part of the stealing. What's his name? What's that guy's name? Remember, he was
There were
and
still the
assistant,
signs.
but he was going to everybody's games.
Yeah. But I
Cooper
mean, so
Rush
this
or something.
what was the current coach even on the staff? I mean, how do
Yeah,
you?
yeah. He was, but here's the thing: he coached the first 2 games, and then he had to sit out the next 2.
Yeah, they got to. Well, I think these are self-imposed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
So
don't know how you pick the weeks you sit out. Like,
yeah, they said we'll pick. Yeah, so the NCAA is letting them get away with it, which is still kind of don't make any sense that you punish the folks. The NCAA should take Harbaugh to court over some fine or something. But anyway, all right. So that's the deal with that. All right, upcoming. What's coming? We're done with the past. We're looking into the future. This weekend at Clemson is Parents Weekend, and we're driving over there on Friday night, but we're coming back, going over there for a parent thing with Grayson's sorority. And so we're not spending the night. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff. Bailey, y'all have a football game, I'm assuming. Y'all hosting or you're on the road?
no, we're on the road.
So we're going to work out our plans for a noon kickoff. We're thinking about trying something new. What do you think about my suggestion for the noon kickoff? Tailgate. Don't get there till noon. Go in and tailgate afterwards.
I'm good either way. I mean, you don't stay. Afterwards we'll be ready to go or not staying as long. But that's, we can see our children.
Yeah, we'll visit.
I mean, we could plan to eat after the game.
Yeah. We'll maybe take the grill or something.
We'll still get there whenever we need to get there.
All right, we'll figure it out. So one last thing that I thought was really funny and I wanted to point out, I've talked about the Dr. Pepper Fansville commercials on almost every show, I think, this season. Did you see the one that had Jerry Jones on it?
I have not seen that yet.
That was hilarious. So they're driving around in this Fansville, but they get in some other town, like, where are they going? And they're like, they're not going to the game, and it's Saturday. Oh, no, this is not a – they've made it to NFL land or something. It was Jerry Jones. It was funny. All right, so anyway, hope everybody gets to see that if you didn't. And go check out the video from this past College Game Day. We always have a touching story, and this one is worth going back and checking out. Hope you enjoy the show. We hope you will. Hope everybody grades the Fun Fans out as an A so far this year. Remember that there is a lot of season left, but Bailey, there's only 5 more home tailgates. You realize that?
I do, and I realize I only have 3 more home varsity football games to manage.
That can be good, though.
Till the playoffs.
There you go. Thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget to click subscribe on your Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media, and please share on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast. Jay Thriller Entertainment, Greenville Sports Media, and Bailey Jackson.
Hey, people, keep believing. Keep believing. I'm pulling for the Tigers. I love the Tigers, and I'm not one of those fans. I'm going to keep believing.
Don't stop believing.
Let's go.
Thanks for listening.